Is Finland a part of Scandinavia? While that might look like a yes or no question, it's not really that simple. Finland is not formally considered part of the Scandinavian region, comprising Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, but they are all part of the Nordic region. Finland also has strong historic links with the region, and the broader Scandinavian definition used in English usually includes Finland as well. Northwestern Finland is technically part of the Scandinavian peninsula, stretching west and bordering both Norway and Sweden. Strictly speaking, the Scandinavian peninsula actually includes Norway, Sweden, and northern Finland, so no Denmark here. But linguistically, on the other hand, Scandinavian is actually equal to North Germanic, so mainly the three partially mutually intelligible Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish, but in scholarship and in university departments, Icelandic and Faroese are also included in this group. Finland has also been part of both Sweden and through it the Scandinavian Union, aka the Kalmar Unionen, between 1397 and 1523, so the Scandinavian ties are definitely strong in Finland as well. The country has political, financial, and cultural connections to the larger Nordic region and to Sweden, so Scandinavia's largest country especially. A strong democratic government with human rights being firmly entrenched in its system of governance, and the preference for strong social systems and cooperation belong together in this region. There is also the Nordic Council, the official body for formal interparliamentary Nordic cooperation among the Nordic countries. It was formed in 1952 with over 80 reps from not only the Big Five from the north, but also the Faroe Islands, Åland, and Greenland as well. There have been attempts to draw a difference between Finland and Scandinavia in more nationalistic contexts too. So according to the famous Hans Christian Andersen, Finland is not part of Scandinavia. Well, at least it wasn't in July 1839 when he composed the poem I Am Scandinavian, which perhaps makes sense if you remember that Finland was under Russian dominance at the time from 1809 after 700 years of Swedish control. Before I continue, you're listening to Irina. I'm a historian and history teacher, dealing mostly with topics on Old Norse culture, as well as Scandinavian and German history and languages. And if you enjoy these short talks, give me a hand by subscribing. Let's continue with some etymology that could also be enlightening or at least fun. So the words Scandinavia and Scania, Skåne, the southernmost province of Sweden, are both thought to go back to a Proto-Germanic compound with reflections in Old English as Skedenig and in Old Norse as Skaudøy. The earliest identified source for the name Scandinavia is Pliny the Elder's Natural History, dating back to the 1st century AD. But then we also have various references to the region in Pytheas, Pomponius Mela, Ptolemy, Tacitus, Procopius, Jordanes, usually in the form of scansa. It is believed that the name used by Pliny may be of West Germanic origin, originally denoting Scania, so Skåne. According to some scholars, the Germanic stem can be reconstructed as the word skada, meaning danger or damage. The second segment of the name has been reconstructed as meaning a land on water or island. The name then would mean a dangerous island, which is pretty commonsensical given the fact that it was in the north, not much was known about it, and it was surrounded by treacherous waters. Some attempts have also been made to link the name to the goddess, actually initially giantess Skadi, as they may share a stem meaning damage. So Skadi in Old Norse also means murder or bane, by the way. It could be in reference to her desire for revenge. So to cut a long story short, Skadi was the daughter of the giant Thjazi. Thjazi was the one who kidnapped the goddess Idun, the one keeping the apples of youth for the gods of Oscarder, and the god Loki was assigned with the mission of retrieving her, which he does, and Thjazi on his way back to Oscarder to have his vengeance is killed, and then his daughter Skadi is the one demanding compensation, which he gets in the form of a marriage with the god Njordr. But saying that she is the protector and name giver of Scandinavia is kind of exaggerated, as we know little of her apart from this one myth, and it might have been the other way around, or there might be no connection whatsoever. Very interesting is to ponder on the name of Finland as well. So the name of Finland in Finnish, Suomi. One theory is that the name comes from the word suoma, which means swampland. This is due to the fact that the southwestern part of the country is home to numerous lakes, which could have looked like a big swampland to outsiders. Another theory would be that the word comes from suomu, which means scale of a fish, suggesting that the people in Finland used to wear clothes made out of fish skins. According to Klaas Ruppel, an etymology expert at the Institute for the Languages of Finland, some believe that both Sami and Suomi derive from the same Proto-Baltic word, zieme, actually a Proto-Slavic word, which used to refer to land or territory and the people living on that land. So that would basically mean that the people from the Finnish territories used an exonym to define themselves, so a word of another linguistic origin. As for the term Finnish, it's not really easier. We have Finner in Old Norse, Finnas in Old English, and also the name of a tribe, Feni, in Tacitus writing. The best guess here seems to be an Old English fen, meaning mud or dirt, moor or marsh, something in that direction, from a Proto-Germanic root, fania, swamp, marsh, which we can also find in a lot of other Germanic languages, in Old Saxon, feni, for example, in Gothic, fani, in Old Frisian, fenne, and so on and so forth, from a Proto-Indo-European root, meaning exactly this, swamp. All right, so if you want to drag onto it linguistically, Scandinavia would be the place where a Scandinavian language is spoken. So Scandinavian as in one of the big three languages, but often North Germanic in general, so including Icelandic and Faroese. Languages like Persian and Urdu are closer to Scandinavian than Finnish. Finnish is related to Estonian and more distantly to Hungarian and the Sami dialects. It is a radically different language, more different from Scandinavian languages than, let's say, extinct Indo-European languages such as Hittite or Tocharian. Either way, I don't really think people talk a lot about Scandinavia or some kind of Scandinavian identity, but they rather talk about the Nordic countries, which include Finland. So it is similar to the Scandinavian countries regarding politics, sociology, economy, and culture, that this would be a much more useful classification. The language, either way, has become secondary because pretty much everyone speaks English at a certain level. So coming back to an answer to the initial question, well, it depends on what you mean, politically, culturally, geographically, or linguistically. All right, if you come from this region, please share your thoughts if this is at all relevant to you. Otherwise, kiitos ja Suomi and on todella kaunis maa. Hope I pronounced it correctly. Thanks for listening and hope you found out something interesting. Till next time, and don't forget to subscribe.